We are moments away from the latest Chris Top production. It's called Axe Murder Hollow. If you didn't get a chance to hear Satin Dress, that was the last show right before this one. Make sure you check that out as well. Also, follow me on Facebook. You can tweet with me. You can tumble with me. Check out my ringtones on PhoneZoo. And please, by all means, keep me in mind for the Podcast Awards 2012. Axe Murder Hollow, just moments away. Hi, I'm Chris Top of the Chris Top Program. Nominations are open for the 8th Annual Podcast Awards on podcastawards.com. All right, hurry up. You've only got till October the 18th to nominate the Chris Top Program in the categories of Best Produced and in Entertainment. It really would be a great honor to win, not to mention a good excuse to go to Vegas in January. Not that that's what it's all about. The Chris Top Program, Best Produced and Entertainment, podcastawards.com.
You can either talk in the Chris Top Program.
Mr. Pop.
Take it from the top.
And cue.
Portions of the day's programming are reproduced by means of electrical transcriptions or tape recordings.
You can either talk in the Chris Top Program.
I am the one and only Chris Top.
You can either talk in the Chris Top Program.
Broadcasting live from my lavish studio apartment.
The VCR and the DVD, there was a night of black crack back in 1970. We didn't know about the World War Web was a whole different game being played back when I was a kid. Wanna get down in a cool way, picture yourself on a beautiful day. Big bell bottoms and groove long hair, just walking in style with a portable MP3 play. You can listen to the music on the Chris Top Program. Chris Top Program. You can hear the music on the Chris Top Program. Chris Top Program.
One and only Chris Top.
Wanna hear the music on the Chris Top Program. Yeah. You can hear the talk in the Chris Top Program.
Sunny Clarksville, Tennessee.
You can hear the talk in the Chris Top Program.
This is the Chris Top Program. Susan and Ned were driving through a wooded, empty section of highway. Lightning flashed, thunder roared. The sky went dark in the torrential downpour. "We'd better stop," said Susan. Ned nodded his head in agreement. He stepped on the brake, and suddenly the car started to slide on the slick pavement. They plunged off the road and slid to a halt at the bottom of an incline. Pale and shaking, Ned quickly turned to check to see if Susan was okay. When she nodded, Ned relaxed and looked through the rain-soaked windows. "I'm going to see how bad it is," he told Susan, and went out into the storm. She saw his blurry figure in the headlight, walking around the front of the car. A moment later, he jumped in beside her, soaking wet. "The car's not badly damaged, but we're well-deep in mud," he said. "I'm going to have to go for help." Susan swallowed nervously. There would be no quick rescue here. He told her to turn off the headlights and lock the door until he returned. Axe Murder Hollow. Although Ned hadn't said the name aloud, they both knew what he had been thinking when he told her to lock the car. This was a place where a man had once taken an axe and hacked his wife to death in a jealous rage over an alleged affair. Supposedly, the axe-wielding spirit of the husband continued to haunt this section of the road. Outside the car, Susan heard a shriek, a loud thump, and a strange gurgling noise. But she couldn't see anything in the darkness. Frightened, she shrank down into her seat. She sat in silence for a while, and then she noticed another sound. It was a soft sound, like something being blown by the wind. Suddenly, the car was illuminated by a light. An official-sounding voice told her to get out of the car. Ned must have found the police officer. Susan unlocked the door and stepped out of the car. As her eyes adjusted to the bright light, she saw it. Hanging by his feet from the tree next to the car was the dead body of Ned. His bloody throat had been cut so deeply that his head was nearly decapitated. The wind swung his corpse back and forth so it thumped against the tree. Susan screamed and ran toward the voice in the light. As she drew close, she realized the light was not coming from a flashlight. Standing there was the glowing figure of a man with a smile on his face and a large, solid, and definitely real axe in his hands. She backed away from the glowing figure until she bumped into the car.
Playing around when my back was turned?
The ghost whispered, stroking the sharp blade of the axe with his fingers.
You've been very naughty.
The last thing she saw was the glint of the axe blade in the eerie, incandescent light.
This has been a Chris Top production.
You can either talk in the Chris Top program.
Mr. Pop.
Take it from the top.
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed my telling of Axe Murder Hollow. And if you like that, please check out Satin Dress. That was the show right before this one. I do want to thank the people that did show up so late. It's 4 a.m. once again. And my intentions when I do these are for people to check them out the next day, and eventually I'll do a longer show with all the Halloween stories that I've produced on there. But I do want to thank Glob for showing up, also Kiss, and Nipple Monkey as well. Thank you guys so much. Please don't forget, tumble with me, check me out on Facebook, you can tweet with me, all kinds of cool stuff. And if you like the ghost stories, if you want more, please let me know. Post your comments here on Spreaker or on Facebook or any of the other places that I talked about. Until I broadcast again, please remember, life is good, and I'm gone.
Take it from the top.
Is it over yet?
Completely over.
You have been exposed to the Chris Top program.
Yeah, okay, are we done? I really gotta get a life.
Take it from the top.